A few months back saw the release of the Makita 40v Max XGT line of tools. They're still not available in parts of the world like the US, but I have done a heap of reviews, as you have most likely seen some of, and in this video I'm going to answer some of the myriad of questions that have been asked on those videos, or at least I'm going to attempt to. Yes it is. Well, there's a couple of reasons for that. The first being that when you have 10 cells in a battery at 3.6 volts each, they add up to 36 volts. But when you first charge them, you can get a bit more out of them, and you'll usually get over 40 volts. So 40 volt max is the maximum amount of volts you'll get out of your battery when you first charge it. The other reason is that Makita already have two 36 volt battery lines. They have an original old 36 volt series, and they have the 18 volt times 2. It'd be a bit confusing if they had 3 of them and they called them all 36 volts. I have a problem with my 36 volt saw. Can you help me? Certainly, sir. Do you have the old 36 volt saw, the new 36 volt saw, or the 18x2 36 volt saw? It starts getting a bit convoluted. No, you cannot. No, you cannot. No. This is probably the most common and misguided comment that I get about the 40 volt XGT range. Do you want a system like DeWalt have, where there's so many people that have no idea now what batteries fit on which tools and how everything works and which ones are compatible and why some of them don't have any power on certain tools? And do you really want that sort of system, or do you want a standalone system that's going to work every time with the batteries? No guessing, trying to work out whether it's going to fit on there or whether it's going to power up that tool. If you have a big clunky 36 volt battery, you want to put it on a 18 volt tool, it's going to be a pain. And if you're one of these people that wants an adapter so you can fit two 18 volt batteries on a 40 volt max tool, you're missing the whole point. Buy the 18 volt times 2 tools. Forget the 40 volt range. It's not for you. You don't understand it yet. Why would you want to make it bulkier? They're trying to make things smaller, not bigger. Making the batteries backwards compatible just stifles improvement in the future. If they have to try and make everything fit the old system, they can never move forward. With this new system, they can make far bigger batteries, better suited to fit on the tools, instead of having the 2 system, which can be a bit cumbersome. You only have to carry 1 battery around instead of 2. If you think about it long enough, it makes far better sense to change to a 36 volt system than have one that's in between. If the new batteries were to fit on the old 18 volt tools, they wouldn't be able to use 21700 cell technology. They would have to stick with this compact battery, which uses 18650. With the larger 36 volt batteries, the currently available 4 amp and the soon to be available 5 amp hour, use 21700 cells, which makes the battery wider, which wouldn't fit on so many of the old 18 volt tools. So why stifle the future tools just because of some of the old ones? Makes no sense. But I don't want to have to start a whole new system. Then don't buy it. Simple. It's easy. Anyway, the difference between the batteries being 18 volt and 36 volt, or 40 volt max, and having a new system, there's not a lot of difference. You're still going to have to buy the new batteries to run the new tools. Correct? So you're buying the new tool, you're buying the new battery. The only difference is you've got an extra charger. And if that's your only issue, then you're just making issues for the sake of it, as far as I'm concerned. Just because you don't really want to buy these because you can't afford it or something. And if the charger is the only issue, and you only want one charger, or you've only got one plug to possibly plug in a charger, then you can get an adapter. The adapter comes with most of the kits that you can charge your 18 volt batteries faster than you used to be able to on an 18 volt charger on the 40 volt charger. So stop complaining. You don't have to change to 40 volt. Nobody's making you change. The 18 volt system is going to be around a long time yet. Don't panic. That depends. If you only use angle grinders, drills, impact drivers, circular saws, reciprocating saws, that sort of thing, then you can change. If you use any of the other specialized tools that are available in the 18 volt, well, you can't get them yet in the 40 volt. This is a brand new system, remember, so you won't be able to get as large a range of tools yet. Eventually you will, but at the moment, if you've got tons of 18 volt, you would be crazy to change exclusively to the 40 volt. That doesn't mean you can't use both. They are purple because in Japan you can get different coloured Makita impact drivers. They release special editions from time to time. The 40 volt Max was released in 4 initial colours in Japan: the original teal, black, red and purple. The 18 volt TD171 has been released in a number of colours over the years, and each year they release 1 or 2 special edition colours. For 2020 those colours were DeWalt yellow and copper. The purple XGT 40 volt tool is still easily available and is actually cheaper than the 18 volt tool now. The 18 volt tool one's pretty hard to come by in purple, but you can still find it in black, white, red, brown and a smattering of other colours. Copper and yellow is still available at the time of this recording. The XGT 40 volt Max was also released as a very limited edition yellow model as well. No, they are not. In some cases they are much more powerful, as in this grinder, but the impact driver doesn't make that much difference. The drill is significantly better, but a lot of the 40 volt Max tools are 36 volt tools from the 18x2 system, so you're only replacing like with like almost, 36 volt with 36 volt. They're more comfortable and easier to use because they only have the 1 battery instead of the 2, which is quite cumbersome on these angle grinders. So most of those 40 volt Max tools are only going to see a small improvement over the previous 36 volt tools, but there's lots of room in the future for this to get much better. It is true. Have a look down in the description or up in this top corner for a video that shows you what the differences are. Yes, there is. Watch this space. Also coming soon, 150mm, 180mm and 230mm 40 volt Max angle grinders with just the 1 battery instead of the old 2 18 volt ones. Makita XGT was due to be launched in the US in December, but due to 2020 being such a fantastic year, it has been pushed back somewhat. So expect the new 40 volt XGT tools to arrive sometime in the first quarter of 2021. The advantage with having to wait longer is you guys might get more tools on release, like the 150, 180 and 230mm angle grinders, as well as the miter saw, which is not available down in this part of the world. Different countries often have different releases. In the UK, most of the kits came with one 2.5 amp hour battery and a case, where down here in New Zealand they came with no case but 2 4 amp hour batteries. You might even get the new 5 amp hour battery on release. Finally, if you've watched all my 40 volt Max videos, cheers for that. If you haven't, I'll put links down in the description. And once again, thanks for watching guys, and I will see you in the new year. Have a good Christmas or happy holidays or whatever it is you celebrate. We just say Merry Christmas down here in New Zealand, and I will see you all again soon. It's been an interesting year. Here's hoping 2021 is a bit better. Hopefully it will be. We're slowly getting there. Maybe. Thanks guys.